Dear Esther, the gulls do not land here anymore. I've noticed that this year they seem to shun the place. Maybe it's the depletion of the fishing stock driving them away. Perhaps it's me. When he first landed here, Donnelly wrote that the herds were sickly and their shepherds the lowest of the miserable classes that populate these Hebridean islands. 300 years later, even they have departed.
So this game is called Dear Esther, and it's probably one of the most beautiful game. Well, besides this bathroom in here. I don't know why he ducks down for the sparrow, or whatever the fuck that was. I think it was a seagull. But look at that upkeep. That's just terrible. And I really can't joke too much about this game because it's just, like I said, it's fucking beautiful.
When you were born, your mother told me, a hush fell over the delivery room. A great red birthmark covered the left side of your face. No one knew what to say, so you cried to fill the vacuum. I always admired you for that you cried to fill whatever vacuum you found. I began to manufacture vacuums just to enable you to deploy your talent. The birthmark faded by the time you were 6 and had gone completely by the time we met, but your fascination with the empty and its cure remained.
Oh, okay. See, I really... And this goes out for a lot of people. I really don't know what this game was about. I was actually trying to research what it was about.
A wonderful sight. The moon cresting the junction between the cliff path and the stone circle. It cast a shadow of the ridge across the beach, all the world as if you had signed your name in untidy handwriting.
People were saying that it was like a ghost story, but I didn't really feel like this is a ghost story, and I was actually kind of terrified to play this because I didn't want anything popping out at me, but so far I don't think anything pops out at you. I think it's just you reliving someone's last moments from some of the narration that you'll hear later on.
When someone had died or was dying, and was so ill they gave up what little hope they could sacrifice, they cut parallel lines into the cliff, exposing the white chalk beneath. You could see them from the mainland or the fishing boat, and know to send aid or impose a cordon of protection, and wait a generation until whatever pestilence stalked the cliff paths died along with its hosts. My lines are just for this, to keep any would-be rescuers at bay. The infection is not simply of the flesh.
That's correct, man. Well, we gotta go down to visit Stonehenge over there.
We are not like Lot's wife, you and I. We feel no particular need to turn back. There's nothing to be seen if we did. No tired old man parting the cliffs with his arms. No gifts or Bibles laid out on the sand for the taking. No tides turning or the shrieking gulls overhead. The bones of the hermit are no longer laid out for the taking. I have stolen them away to the guts of this island, where the passages all run to black, and where we can light each other's faces by their strange luminescence. Dear Esther, I met Paul. I made my own little pilgrimage. My Damascus, a small semi-detached on the outskirts of Wolverhampton. We drank coffee in his kitchen and tried to connect to one another. Although he knew I hadn't come in search of an apology, reason or retribution, he still spiraled in panic, thrown high and lucid by his own dented bonnet. Responsibility had made him old. Like us, he'd already passed beyond any conceivable boundary of life. I find myself increasingly unable to find that point where the hermit ends and Paul and I begin. We are woven into a sodden blanket, stuffed into the bottom of a boat to stop the leak and hold back the ocean. My neck aches from staring up at the aerial. It mirrors the dull throb in my gut where I am sure I've begun to form another stone. In my dreams, it forms into a perfect representation of Lot's wife, head over her shoulder, staring along the motorway at the approaching traffic in a vacuum of fatalistic calm.
Oh, I just heard something fall, but it's a fucking cave. So that cave that we just left, that's one of many things to come that will just probably... Your mouth will be open the entire game, like how nice this looks. And actually, I wouldn't even recommend watching this video. If you really like the look of this game and you just saw like the first few minutes or whatever, definitely download it and don't let this video ruin your experience, because this is just a playthrough of my experience, and this game really deserves a once-over through yourself. Because so far this game has given me feels that I
dreamt I stood in the center of the sun, and the solar radiation cooked my heart from the inside. My teeth will curl and my fingernails fall off into my pockets like loose change. If I could stomach, I'd eat, but all I seem capable of is salt water. Were the livestock still here, I could turn feral and gorge. I'm as emaciated as a body on a slab, opened up for a premature source of death. I've rowed to this island in a heart without a bottom, all the bacteria of my gut rising up to sing to me.
I really want to know what that symbol is. I've seen it a few times. The other one was a little different, and I kind of like made an X out of that one. But there's just random symbols and stuff, and hopefully it explains it. But from what I've read, this game doesn't really have an explanation. But that's what makes it so good, is because you can just kind of interpret it your own way and enjoy it how you want to enjoy it, and then everyone's gonna have a different experience, even though it's the exact same game, exact same texture files, narration, all that stuff. It's always gonna be interpreted a little bit differently, and that's why I am like the poster child for this game.
Dear Esther, I have now driven the stretch of the M5 between Exeter and Bristol over 21 times. But although I have all the reports and all the witnesses, and have cross-referenced them within a millimetre using my Ordnance Survey maps, I simply cannot find the location. You'd think there would be marks to serve as some evidence. It's somewhere between the turn-off for Sanford and the welcome brake services. But although I can always see it in my rear-view mirror, I have as yet been unable to pull ashore.
So there's, just for the sake of getting on with the game, I'm going what I think is the correct path. If it's not the correct path, I'll cut this out. But you can go all the way up there. I don't know if you could zoom in. No, you can't zoom in. But there's like a path. It basically looks like it circles around, but I think there's a cave over there. And I don't know, maybe you can go behind that mountain and stuff. It's a pretty damn big game. Even though you still have one path, you could still explore it. And I'm probably missing so much.
I had kidney stones, and you visited me in the hospital. After the operation, when I was still half submerged in anesthetic, your outline and your speech both blurred. Now my stones have grown into an island and made their escape, and you have been rendered opaque by the car of a drunk. What charnel house lies at the foot of this abyss? How many dead shepherds could fill this hole?
A lot. Let's make one more. Holy shit.
Come back.
What the hell? Okay, so apparently I wasn't supposed to go there. But it's cool how it brought me a little bit forward, so it put me kind of on the right path.
I've begun to climb, away from the sea and towards the center. It is a straight line to the summit, where the evening begins to coil around the aerial and squeeze the signals into early silence. The bothy squats against the mount to avoid the gaze of the aerial. I too will creep under the island like an animal and approach it from the northern shore.
What the hell is that? I don't like chanting. It scares me, to be honest. Nothing personal if you like to chant or whatever, you know, any religious thing, but it just kind of...
Bothy was constructed originally in the early 1700s. By then, shepherding had formalized into a career. The first habitual shepherd was a man called Jakobsen, from a lineage of migratory Scandinavians. He was not considered a man of breeding by the mainlanders. He came here every summer whilst building the bothy, hoping eventually that becoming a man of property would secure him a wife and a lineage. Donnelly records that it did not work. He caught some disease from his malcontented goats and died 2 years after completing it. There was no one to carve white lines into the cliff for him either.
Oh shit, poor Donnelly. But anyways, yeah, chanting just kind of.
When the oil lamps ran out, I didn't pick up
me.
a torch, but used the moonlight to read by. When I've pulled the last shreds of sense from it, I will throw Donnelly's book from the cliffs and perhaps myself with it. Maybe it will wash back up through the caves and erupt from the spring when the rain comes, making its return to the hermit's cave. Perhaps it will be back on the table when I wake. I think I may have thrown it into the sea several times before.
See, this game is just a giant mind fuck. I seriously, I don't even know what's going on.
What to make of Donnelly, the laudanum and the syphilis? It is clearly not how he began, but I've been unable to discover if the former was a result of his visiting the island or the force that drove him here. For the syphilis, a drunk driver smashing his insides into a pulp as he stumbled these paths, I can only offer my empathy. We're all victims of our age. My disease is the internal combustion engine.
Shit.
Come back east.
What I tried there was a shortcut, because I'm pretty sure I have to go down there. But apparently the game doesn't like shortcuts.
Climbing down to the caves, I slipped and fell and have injured my leg. I think the femur is broken.
Uh-oh.
It is clearly infected. The skin has turned a bright, tight pink, and the pain is crashing in on waves, winter tides against my shoreline, drowning out the ache of my stones. I struggled back to the bothy to rest, but it has become clear that there is only one way this is likely to end. The medical supplies I looted from the trawler have suddenly found their purpose. They will keep me lucid for my final ascent.
Oh shit. So I can't tell if he's already like dead and this is what he's seeing, or if he actually like visited this place. Cause it looks like somewhere like he's dreaming about while he dies. Well, not dreaming, but you know, whenever you're like.
Addiction is my one true constant. Even though I wake in false dawns and find the landscape changing, flowing inconstantly through my tears, I know his reaching is always upon me.
Wow. When I die, I would like to see something like this. That's what I'm gonna go off of so far. From what I've heard from the narration and all that, I think this is just him kind of like having an outer body experience and telling himself a story. Well, telling you a story, but you're him in the game, if you get what I'm saying. But that's probably wrong, but that's just how I'm gonna interpret it, because this game, should I say it again? It's fucking beautiful. Holy shit. I just kind of want to like have a rave.
As if someone had taken the car and shaken it like a cocktail. The glove compartment had been opened and emptied with the ashtrays and the boot. It made for a crumpled museum, a shattered exhibition.
Oh shit. I guess we gotta jump down. Beep. We gotta go upstream. Holy shit, this is like... I think I should have took some ecstasy or something before I played this. Because this, I mean, this is already giving me kind of like a little buzz or something. Look, it just like molds in from green to, I mean, from blue to green. And white now, it looks like. Oh, maybe that's just a really light blue. And then it's gonna fucking go to red. Oh my god, I can't wait till I go over to the red. It's my favorite. Don't let me fall. I want to visit in there. Please, please, please. Okay, we're fine. Is that where we came out of? Yeah, I think that's where we came out of. Let me jump down. Feels a little constricting, but still very good to look at nonetheless. Oh, I want to eat one of those. Yes, it looks like little mini jellyfish. Let me eat it. It's probably how this guy died. If I was in this cave in real life, I'd probably eat one of these mushrooms and then die happy. Whoa.
In my final dream, I sat at peace with Jakobsen and watched the moon over the Sandford Junction. Goats grazed on the hard shoulder, the world gone to weed and redemption. He showed me his fever scars, and I mine, between each shoulder the nascency of flight.
See, those look a lot like chemical formulas, but I really don't know if that has anything to do with it. Maybe this guy was some sort of scientist. And this is like, he's just kind of seeing things that remind him of his life implanted on there. I mean, let's see. What is this? See, that looks like some sort of like, either a third grader drew a tree, or it's like some sort of like amoeba looking thing. And what's this? And that looks like plant life or deer antlers on a pole with a leaf on it. Is that like a redneck Christmas tree? I don't know. But I'm still trying to figure out what these actually... Whoa. Yeah, I have no idea, but this... I just want to fucking lick this room.
This is a drowned man's face, reflected in the moonlit waters. It can only be a dead shepherd who has come to drunk drive you home.
Holy shit. I'm getting chills from this game, and this usually doesn't happen. I really don't know why this game is affecting me so much. What does that say? Behold. Yeah, I can't read that. Holy shit. Now, someone took my idea and had a rave in here. I wasn't fucking invited. These look like schematics for something. What the hell? What the hell? Rave from being... What the... Aki? Away from being... I have no idea. And... Shall we... I'm sorry, but I just can't read that. I hope we never leave these caves. I really don't want to leave it. I have a feeling that we're going to be leaving soon, though. No. No, I don't want to leave. And I can't swim. It sucks. Oh well. Ooh, a waterfall. So, what are we gonna do here? It looks like we're gonna have to jump down even further. Alright. Geronimo! What the fuck? I remember him saying something about an accident. What the hell? Sir, oh, there's no one in there. Sir, do you know how fast you're going? I can't jump, but I would jump on your car. Act like a fool. Well, it looks like someone's car got really fucked up. I think this is, was it Jakobsen that had the car crash? I can't remember. But this is trippy as hell, because why am I seeing it while I'm underwater? Maybe my guy is drowning and he's just experiencing all this. I don't even know, dude. I seriously have no fucking clue. Maybe we should get above water before we start dying ourselves. But then again, what if we're already dead? It's like that one movie where the kid sees dead people and the guy's really dead. You really need to experience this game for yourself. Oh no, I think we're leaving the caves. Shit. Yeah, we left the caves. Damn it. But we were having so much fun. What the hell is this? Was this my camp? Explain to me, narrator. Please.
The moon over the Sanford Junction, headlights in your retinas. Donnelly drove a grey hatchback without a bottom. All the creatures of the tarmac rose to sing to him. All manner of symbols crudely scrawled across the cliff face of my unrest. My life reduced to an electrical diagram. All my gulls have taken flight. They will no longer roost on these outcrops. The lure of the moon over the Sanford Junction is too strong.
That's for damn sure. That's exactly where I'm going, it looks like. I'm being lured in.
From here, I can see my armada. I collected all the letters I'd ever meant to send to you, if I'd have ever made it to the mainland, but had instead collected at the bottom of my rucksack, and I spread them out along the lost beach. Then I took each and every one, and I folded them into boats. I folded you into the creases, and then, as the sun was setting, I set the fleet to sail. Shattered into 21 pieces, I consigned you to the Atlantic, and I sat here until I'd watched all of you sink.
Wow. That's... No, don't kill me. I just wanted to go up there.
The pain in my leg sent me blind for a few minutes as I struggled up the cliff path. I swallowed another handful of painkillers, and now I feel almost lucid. The island around me has retreated to a hazed distance, whilst the moon appears to have descended into my palm to guide me. I can see a thick black line of infection reaching for my heart from the waistband of my trousers. Through the fugue, it's all the world like the path I have cut from the lowlands towards the aerial.
See, as he said that, that fucking light started turning purple. Yeah, he must be just reliving his experiences.
I've begun my voyage in a paper boat without a bottom. I will fly to the moon in it. I've been folded along a crease in time, a weakness in the sheet of life. Now you've settled on the opposite side of the paper to me. I can see your traces in the ink that soaks through the fiber, the pulped vegetation. When we become waterlogged and the cage disintegrates, we will intermingle. When this paper aeroplane leaves the cliff edge and carves parallel vapor trails in the dark, we will come together.
See, maybe that's all we gotta do is come together right now. Over me. That looks purpley as fuck.
If only Donnelly had experienced this, he would have realized he was his own shoreline, as am I. Just as I am becoming this island, so he became his syphilis, retreating into the burning synapses, the stones, the infection.
Yeah, this guy's dying. And it is pretty damn cool to see his last moments.
Returning to my car afterwards, hands still shaking, and a head split open by the impact. Goodbye to tearful aunts and traumatized uncles. Goodbye to the phenomenal. Goodbye to the tangible. Goodbye Wolverhampton. Goodbye Sandford. Goodbye Cromer. Goodbye Damascus. This cliff path is slippery in the dew. It is hard to climb with such an infection. I must carve out the bad flesh and sling it from the aerial. I must become infused with the very air. Blind with panic, deaf with the roar of the cage traffic, heart stopped on the road to Damascus, Paul sat at the roadside hunched up like a gull, like a bloody gull. As useless and as doomed as a syphilitic cartographer, a dying goat herd, an infected leg, a kidney stone, blocking the traffic bound for Sandford and Exeter. He was not drunk, Esther. He was not drunk at all. All his roads and his tunnels and his paths led inevitably to this moment of impact. This is not a recorded natural condition. He should not be sat there with his chemicals and his circuit diagrams. He should not be sat there at all.
This guy is going through the 5 stages of death. So far, sounds. I don't know how they go, but sounds depressed. He didn't sound like he accepted it yet. Well, kinda he did, but that was just. It sounded like anger. So I think he's experiencing all the feels that you get before you die.
I am the Ariel. In my passing, I will send news to each and every star. Dear Esther, I have burned the cliffs of Damascus. I have drunk deep of it. My heart is my leg and a black line etched on the paper all along this boat without a bottom. You are all the world like a nest to me. Eggs unbroken form like fossils, come together, send small black flowers to the air. From this infection, hope. From this island, flight. From this grief, love.
So what are we doing up here? Damn, we're pretty high. This is obviously the place we saw at the beginning. Wow, that view right there. the fuck are you doing? Damascus. Honestly say, if I could... We're a bird? The fuck? Maybe we're the bird from the gas station. My god. The twists just keep on coming. But to be honest, if I saw anything like this in my lifetime, I think I could probably die in that moment and just be completely happy with whatever there is to come afterwards. I really don't know if there's an afterlife or what actually happens, because no one else really does know. Everyone can say they know, but they don't know until they actually experience it. But I would say if I saw something like this, I would actually be pretty content with my life.